There are 12 essential questions that every writer should answer about his or her story. And the second of these is main character growth, start or stop. Now, every main character is going to grow over the course of the story, but they might grow out of something they had been doing and stop that kind of activity or pattern of thought. Or they might grow into something they hadn't been doing and begin a new activity or manner of thinking. This is going to have a tremendous difference on the feel of that growth to your author or reader. Now there's a couple other aspects that are important as well. If the story concerns a main character who changes, in other words, he alters his nature by the end of the story compared to what it was, well, he's either going to come to believe that he's the cause of his own problems because of something he's been doing or because of something that he lacked. If he changes his nature because he gets rid of some trait that he already had in the belief that was the problem, then he's a stop character because he stopped doing or thinking something or thinking about things a certain way. If he grows into a new way of being, he adds some new manner of thinking or new approach, well, then he's a start character because he added something into the mix rather than getting rid of anything that was there. But not all characters change when they grow. Stories can also be about main characters who remain steadfast. In other words, they hold out and stick to their original nature through the entire story because they figure if they stick it out just long enough, whatever is in their world that they don't like, that's where the problem is, and it will change and get in line with their viewpoint if they've just got the grit to hold out. Well, if they believe that there's something bad in their world, that they're waiting for it to stop, you have a stop, steadfast character. But if they're holding out for something to begin that they'd like, well, then they're a start character. For example, a novelist or screenwriter who's trying to publish their first book or screenplay, well, if they keep on writing instead of taking a high-paying job someplace else, that's a character who's waiting for something to start. Now, as an example of this, take a look at Scrooge from Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Does Scrooge need to change because he's excessively and proactively miserly, which would be a stop character, or because he lacks generosity, which would be a start character? Well, Dickens realized that he couldn't very well indict the entire British business community and say, stop doing business the way you're doing, it's a bad thing, because he would have no impact on society, and he wanted to. So instead what he made his message as was, just keep doing what you're doing in business. Everything's great, but add this extra trait. Start doing this. Add some compassion. Care a little bit more about your fellow man. Humanity is your business. And this can even be seen in the story's arguments that they're about beginning something, not ending, because under the robes of the ghost Christmas present are two waifs. One of them is want, and one of them is ignorance. Two things that are lacks that could be filled. And all of the characters that Scrooge is at first hurting, he's not doing by going out and being mean to them. He's hurting because he does not recognize their needs and does not step in to fill them, ranging from Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim to those who owe him money. Well, in the end then, a changed main character can grow by adding a characteristic he lacks, which makes him a start character, or by dropping a characteristic that he's already had, which makes him a stop character. Either way, this kind of change character is a change character. Whereas a steadfast main character, he's going to alter by waiting for his world to either stop doing something he doesn't like or begin doing something that he does want to happen. Either way, the steadfast character is still going to have a direction of growth. He's going to grow in his resolve, waiting for something to change by starting or change by stopping. I'm Melanie Ann Phillips, and I hope you'll join us for more writing tips at storymind.com.